All right, yo. Welcome back. Welcome back to Just Start. I'm Juan with Astro Flip. I'm here with Jordan today. I've known Jordan for a few years now. We went back a few years and we worked at we did a the summer of COVID. We worked at Walmart together and we were both working in OGP, picking up groceries and delivering them out to the cars. Crazy how time has flown since then, and I mean where he's at now and where I'm at now, it's night and day, honestly. I'm really glad to have Jordan here today. Um, yeah, so I guess the first thing, going back to the meeting at Walmart, I have a few things out here actually. Jordan was like the first person I really met who kind of opened my eyes to looking at like art and design as a kind of a future. And so, like he was the first person I was really able to talk about like art and design with, and it was really interesting to be able actually to get to work with him and just like pick his brain just about random stuff and just chatting shit all day, picking up groceries and stuff. It was a great time. Um, yeah, I mean, I remember the first time you mentioned to me about like smiling friends, and I was like, he was telling me about this thing, and I was like, oh, that sounds really funny. I can't wait to. I mean, I'm sure I'll see it at some point. And then, sure enough, I was like, I saw the trailer for it. Like, this is actually so funny. I lost my mind. I'm so such a huge fan of that show today, to the point where I annoy my girlfriend like a lot, just like quoting that. She's like, "You need to like breathe." Um, yeah. So I mean, thanks for like you even opened my eyes in general to a lot of things, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And it's one of those things where, again, that was like COVID era, again, like early COVID. I don't know if the first season had dropped then. I want to say no.
I
And
think
so it's
this is
cool
the
to
first
see,
episode that dropped. Yeah.
yeah, just the first, like the pilot. And they were
Mhm.
still saying, we're not sure if we're going to do a full season, whatever. I'm pretty sure they already knew they were, but they were just kind of like testing the waters of it. And to say like now it's blown up, right? Now when you say, "Oh, I love Smiling Friends," people go, "Oh, I love it too." No one's special.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's giving these creators and what their vision, trying to get this show past, um, kind of to the forefront, right? Like this kind of, it's not typically seen. Like this kind of content's not typically seen. I would argue, like on Adult Swim, it's very, it's kind of changing animation in a small but significant way. And aside from that, with art in general, I don't know what the hell I could have said in the past that got you to think that way, but I don't know. It's like, especially when you're working long hours like we did. I mean, overtime was welcome, with the essential workers and like, kind of push in the media. I would argue you kind of run out of things to talk about really quickly. And so you get to get a little bit more comfortable with the people you're working around, even if it has nothing to do with being in a creative field at all.
Absolutely. I think it was just one of those things where I don't think because I think previous to that I really only worked with my dad. And he had like a business, and that was just like blue collar work, and I was like I hated that, and all my coworkers were like 40 years old, and I was like didn't couldn't talk to them about anything. And then working like scrubbing dishes at OU, and that wasn't like there was no conversation to be had. We were just like everybody hated their jobs, and we were just like head down, scrub dishes, and get out of there as soon as we could. And I think this is the first kind of time I got to talk to anybody about that type of thing, and it was really insightful, I think. Um, and I think it was really funny because after that, um, that year or so, and I was like, I don't think we had like really kept up that much at that point, but I remember just talking and like seeing your posts every now and then on Instagram, and I remember seeing, I remember this so distinctly on November 5th, 2021. You posted like the Pope's real name is George Bergoglio, and they had the whole Adult Swim like thing and presented by Dr. Pibb or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, this guy fucking did it. This guy fucking he went out. He was talking so much about Smiling Friends and he went and made his own show. Like shout out. And I was so fully convinced you're gonna be on Adult Swim. I was like, dude, I was like so much for like, yo, dude, like I know this guy. It was anyway. It was a very good looking like concept and a cool thing. I was like, this actually feel like this matches like the style of everything that they got going on over there. And um,
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that because it's been that and a couple other things I've posted, even this on my story. Um, I don't want to discredit some of the stuff I've done, but it's not at that level. But it's funny that people can see it. you know, and I think that's it's telling that people tend to believe in you more than you believe in yourself, probably, right?
Yeah, yeah,
People reaching out saying, "Did you finally do it?" I'm like, I just barely got out of high school. Fuck no, like, no,
yeah.
not at all. But it's crazy because I actually not with Adult Swim, but with some other companies, I've been able to actually visit and go check out, which is really cool. Like it's not out of the realms of possibility, and you just never know your where your path will take you, right? But I remember hearing this one piece of advice saying, uh, your life and your career path follows like a common thread. Like if you've always found yourself in like leadership positions, you'll probably continue to find yourself in leadership positions. Not saying like if you haven't found yourself in
You're
leadership
never
positions,
gonna make it.
right? No, no, no. I'm not trying to advocate for that. What I'm trying to say more is that you'll find kind of a common path and a common thread in everything you do, right? So I've always been able. I think I'm pretty transparent and pretty down to earth, no matter what situation I'm in, and that doesn't change, right? Me finding ways to kind of be a little bit unorthodox has always been there, right? Like even at Walmart, like how can I like BS the system so my score is a little bit higher? Like how do I game the system so it benefits me, right? It's kind of what it's always been of like how can I take advantage with it being fair, right? Like not like screwing everyone over. It's not like that, but it's more like how do I just make my life easier, right?
Sure.
And so, with that being said, yeah, like it's crazy that you're not the only one that thought that. Like, it was a lot of people that were like, "Wow, you finally did this." Or I remember this past Halloween, I dressed up as like a there's like a Jet Daft Punk costume. People were like, "You met Daft Punk?" I'm like, "No, it's a Halloween costume." Like, okay, whatever. Like, it's kind of dumbfounded how much people. It's not like necessarily on them. It's not like I'm like saying like, "Oh, how silly are they?" No, it's they can see it.
They can see the vision, I feel like.
They see the vision.
Yeah. So it's really cool because like you said, sometimes like people like see things in you that you don't really see, or you said believe in you more than you believe in yourself. But I feel like that way, like for sure. I think sometimes I'm just doing a thing and it's like people are like, "Oh, this is so cool." Like, "Oh, awesome. Thank you." I mean, that's really cool. And I didn't really know that like anybody would like care because I feel like at the end of the day, I'm just making stuff that I think is cool and like putting it out there and maybe someone likes it and like that's cool, but it's just what it is. Um, yeah. I was also gonna like comment on the Daft Punk thing. It was a great costume, by the way. I'm gonna put it up somewhere here. We'll figure out where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just wish we had the gloves. I felt like that would have sold a little bit more. You can't see it in the photos. We had LEDs underneath.
Oh yeah.
Like it was very vibrant, very like it was really cool. I've Halloween's always been one of my favorite holidays, so I'm always trying to like find a way to one up costumes. I've had all sorts from like really stupid. I think it started in high school. I dressed up as like Billy Mays one year, and I was like, just like the night before, I was like, fuck it, Billy Mays,
Yeah.
and it just kind of stuck. Like I was always like, what can I do? What can I do next? It's kind of more creative or innovative.
Billy Mays,
So
what a deep pull. What a deep pull, Billy Mays. I was just talking about Billy Mays like today at work. Crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Legendary.
No,
Yeah, so Um, I think you've like helped me out in terms of like getting some. I mentioned this beforehand before we started the podcast, but Jordan has like been pretty helpful, kind of providing some tips and stuff and things like that. We talked about how some of those are maybe might be better suited for a later time whenever this is like more found like grounded and we're in the same space. In the meantime, this is what we got going on right now. This is what we're doing. I was wondering, when did you start like noticing more about like video like editing and formatting? And as I know that you're doing a lot of photography right now, are you focused equally on like filmmaking, or are you just more in photography?
yeah, I want to say it might have been my sophomore year of high school. I was going on a family trip and I was listening to like music in a car, looking out the window, having my own like little, your own solo music video, you
Yeah, I
know?
stare at the window.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And then I kind of got to thinking like, what am I going to do with my life? Previously, I wanted to be uh, a homicide investigator. I wanted to be a detective. I was like, that sounds like fun. But then like the night before, I had a conversation with my dad because that's what he wanted to do whenever he was about my age, and he said they have very depressing lives
Yeah.
and like, super high suicide and divorce rate. Like it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And so that kind of, oh, I didn't think about that. Like being around like not being able to find closure for people or like be failing at your job, right? Um, whenever the stakes are so high is not fun. And so I got to thinking, why did I want to do that in the first place? Oh, it's because I saw a lot of crime movies and that was fun. I was like, why don't I just make a crime like movie? Like
Uh-huh.
that just sounds an infinitely more fun time. You can do whatever you want. The realms of like there's no realm like you can surpass the realms of possibility basically, right? Like what is happening the day to day. Um, you're creating whole new worlds. And so I was like, man, that is the way to go. I need to go into filmmaking. And then I realized how much, if we see credits, no one really sticks for, 5 minutes worth of credits and all the hundreds of names on there. I'm like, surely I can be one of the 100. Surely. Um, took the first steps in high school doing some video announcement stuff. And I was inspired by other people. Like before me was Chase. Chase did that whenever I was a freshman. I was like, that's so fun and so cool. Why did that go away? I felt like that created somewhat of a sense of culture in doing this ever so slightly, right? Like maybe not to the grand scale of like homecoming or anything, but it gave me something to look forward to every Monday. And that was kind of the idea is like, you know what? Let's do that eventually. And it took me forever to get that off the ground. Like I was my senior year at that time to do that. And that was fun. I got to experiment and kind of see what it's like to work in production with zero experience. Uh, yeah, this is before TikTok too, really, like being able to look up short form content to find out your answers, right? Like how to do 3-point lighting, how to do whatever. Like now it's literally at your fingertips to like in 30 seconds you'll find out the answer. Before it's like going to like Reddit and seeing like some like 28-year-old going, well, actually you need your ISO at blah blah blah, this and that. They're not wrong, but like as a kid, I went, that's too damn long. I need to
Yeah.
just turn the camera and record.
Yeah.
And kind of a long answer, but
No, you're good.
I hope that this kind of gives some context for after graduating. I decided let's keep it going. Maybe filmmaking is within the possibility. But with COVID, I lost a lot of my confidence. I kind of became more of I've always been extroverted, but started becoming a little bit more introverted. And just realizing like the cost of education, uh, what it's like just growing up, I guess, I think reality will tend to crush your dreams pretty
Yeah.
fast and pretty
Yeah.
hard. And I was like, damn, maybe movies are not the move. Like I need to actually be able to like have money to eat and like, pay rent and all these other things. And I wasn't even fully going underneath that. I was still living with my parents at the time and going like, applied to go to WT and I got my first bill. And I was like, but like that's what loans are for. But I also don't want to get loans. And not understanding like how payment works and just how going and like just doing adult life works. And I still don't, but I have a better idea of what I did 4 years ago. Um, Anywho, quickly pivoted my dreams of doing like movie filmmaking towards something a little bit more grounded. I was like, I kind of like what I do. What else is there? And there was like social media content or like marketing, right? And I was like, I don't know if I really like this. I don't know if there's a future in Amarillo with this, right? Because it's not a very media heavy place. And I kind of discredited it. And then I went on a trip with this actually organization, NMGZ. It's a national millennial and Gen Z community. In 2022, it was at my lowest point. I was going to give up on doing creative work altogether, and I was going to go into like accounting and be a
Oh
banker
no,
or like be an
no.
insurance, work at an insurance
Oh
agency,
no,
which
that's worse than
is
the
still fun.
detectives. It's not
Right.
for me. It's not for me. I know I can do it.
No, I still find it fascinating. Like that is still like, hey, if this some for some reason a good opportunity opens up, I might still take something like that. But I'm so glad that I was able to go on this trip. I went to Los Angeles and I got to meet with other like social media marketers and other just creatives in general, like from Fortune 500 companies. I mean, I'm talking like I'm going from someone that has zero experience having conversations with people who are working on this like marketing for across the Spider Verse, right? Um, People working at like Experian, right? Like, how does marketing work with uh, finding your credit score, and like them saying, "Fuck it, John Cena is what the answer we thought was the best
Yeah.
answer." And so there's a whole other company, a lot of companies I've visited in Los Angeles that did like where it was doing that, and like a lot of big names, notable names. And I was like, wow, it gave me a whole new like burst of energy, and I was like, I know what I need to do now. Like it opened my eyes. It was like, all right, the confidence was there, and it's dwindled, and it's also came back since then. I've gone on other trips and gotten other experiences, and I just learned more and know the reality a little bit more about it. Right? I think from that point on, it was like, well, it's not movies, but there's a spot for me there, and now it's like, well, there's a spot for me here too, like in Amarillo, and I've enjoyed that very much so. So long answer, but it's kind of the journey thus far.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking for, honestly. I'm not, there's no way you could concise all of your experiences and thoughts down to like one single moment or, or anything like that. Like it's like it's a living, breathing thing. You're a living, breathing person, with things change, things go great, things go terrible, everything in between. So that's a great answer. I'm here to listen, man. I'm here to listen and learn a little bit. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Um, who do you think along the path of like being initially when you were first thinking about making like your first prom film, who were you looking at as like your main kind of source of inspiration? Who are you looking at now? How have how have the fields changed?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely like in high school, I think the biggest like inspirations for creativity would have gone from, I would argue, filmmaking wise, I loved Tarantino's movies, Quentin Tarantino, and I loved Bong Joon-ho. Like I saw Parasite in theaters, no went in blind, and was like, oh my god, this is the best movie of all time. I
Insane.
still feel like people who've never seen it, I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy that says we need to put it on now, but you have to put it on your radar. Let's go. Like whenever you have nothing going on, don't look it up. Let's watch it. And they're
Yeah.
always like, that was crazy. Like that
Great
was a
movie.
good experience.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I think from that standpoint, that was kind of the big inspiration. But it became grounded as it went on, right? So like as soon as I had to go, okay, what can I do for in high school for the content I'm making now? Like what's the standard? I looked at Chase's work. I went back. I had all this stuff saved on my Google Drive, my school account. I no longer, I don't think, have those saved, which makes me a little bummed out. But I'm sure he has it somewhere. Of just how he ran it. Like if you take the same concept of weekly announcements for a high school and what you can do to keep that engaging more than just reading it off over like the bell or whatever, or just the mass email. What can you do? Um, just taking seeing one of his and saying, okay, this is what they did. Here's what we can do, and here's how we can do it. Not just necessarily better. It's never like how do you do it better. It's how do you put your own unique twist on it. What do
Yeah.
you think works more for your style,
Yeah.
right? And so that was kind of the goal at the time. Now today, fast forward more, and you get to like I always hear like the phrase "don't ever meet your heroes," right? Um, but I like being able to create heroes off the people you meet, right? Like I think now one of my biggest inspirations of people that I've got to meet personally and see their work ethic and see the impact they can do for other people is a founder of this organization and as well as a ad agency in Los Angeles and across the U.S. as well, a couple places there. Is the ad agency's name is IW Group, and that's their chief connectivity officer, Bill Amata. Bill is just like a light of like he's just positive, unbelievably positive, and believes wholeheartedly in people. And like that's what definitely was like, oh wow, I've never met someone with like this influence that was like so positive and believed in people. Like he has no reason to believe in someone like us, right? He just starts an organization, you can sign up, but he gets to know you and really was like, oh, checks up on you and so on. It's a really nice thing to have in your social circle, right? So it's like uh whenever I first went on these trips and left, I had this like immediate thought in the back of my mind of like, the whole like wristbands of like what would Jesus do? It was like that, but then underneath was like what would Bill Amata do? Uh and then I kind of realized, well, that's not healthy either. Because he's a human being just like the rest of us, right? And so I realize the qualities I admire about him, but I need to be my own individual myself still, right? And I need to like look forward towards the biggest source of inspiration needs to be yourself. And other people, of course, but you need to go, okay, what did I do in the past? Like look at yourself, be reflective and go, all right, this is how I can grow. This is the next step for me, right?
Hmm.
I'm not trying to be Juan. I'm not trying to be Dylan. I'm not trying to be Chase. I'm not trying to be Bill. And even here in my current job, I mean, I have a great manager. Her name's Madison Mays, and then I work underneath the office of the provost of the university, and that's Dr. Neil Terry. All of these people are very different, and all of them have something I can gratefully like learn from like immensely, and I'm trying to. But I have a long ways to go to fill in those shoes and to fill in my own that I've set for myself, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's I think it's really important that, like it's really refreshing to see somebody who is like their own person. Like I think a lot of people, like including myself sometimes, like fall into kind of like mindset of like just kind of fitting into whatever, and um it's just it can get like really you can get in your own I can get in my own head about it. I can imagine other people do as well. So it's just nice to see, your own person, man. Um Ancora Imparo. I'm still learning. I saw that on your bio. I love this. Like, I think we're all still learning. Um, I hope we're all still learning. What are some things that you're working that you focus on learning right now?
Yeah. I'm going to spin that question off a second because you brought up something about how not fitting in or feeling like you're not being authentically yourself. I guess is kind of how I interpret it, and that is that everyone kind of goes through that. That is one, and that's also kind of where that phrase comes from. Is just like I'm still learning, and again, mimicry is the highest form of flattery. I didn't come up with that phrase. No,
Mm,
I heard it from a talk from at Texas Tech from a graphic designer named Michael Beirut, and he put that on part of his presentation. And I believe the context for that is one of the Renaissance artists. I want to say it was Michelangelo. He ended up writing that on one of his pieces. Instead of signing his name, he put "Ancora Imparo." I'm still learning, and that's one of the greatest like artists of all time.
yeah,
And I'm still learning, right? And so I think if you just kind of keep with that mentality, again, like you said, you can always have that drive. To kind of go to your question, which was, sorry.
what are some things you're focused on learning right now?
Yes, yes. Really, how to be a more dependable and reliable person, which is, I think, not really the answer I would have expected
Hmm.
to have, like, to have had right now, right? I would have thought like a year ago and even like a couple of weeks ago said, oh, it's going to be some technical skill in videography. It's going to be this in photography. It's going to be this in graphic design. It's going to be this within, management or whatever it might be, right? But no, it is literally like how to just be dependable to like family and friends. Because
Yeah,
believe it or not, we are more than just like our titles and jobs. And I want to be able to be present, like actively present. Within the things that matter to me the most, right? Which is
yeah.
for family, faith, um, and again, of course, work.
It's uh Ancora Imparo. I'm
Yeah.
still learning, man. It's I feel like there are moments where I'm like so conscious of it, so conscious of like what I need to be learning, and then other times it's not so clear. But I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day, every day. And I think I'm noticing how important like not that I haven't noticed this before. I've kept a journal for like 3 or 4 years now, and not consistently all the time, but trying to be consistent to myself and trying to be consistent to like myself like on the inside. I feel like you can walking by a mirror. I think you got to have a mirror in your room. That way you can see yourself, and then that way you don't ever ignore yourself. Because if you ignore yourself, man, it's the worst thing. Like, how many times have you like walked by around seeing somebody in public who you don't want to be around? And you just ignore them and like, or if you're the other way around, you see somebody who they don't want to see you, you walk by and you see them ignore you, it's like, oh, I fucking hate that guy, I hate that guy so much. but you do it to yourself. You do it to the one person you live with every single day. You do it to yourself, and it's like it's just not good. So trying to take time and reflecting and how I can be more present, how I can be more reliable and to myself, so I don't like betray myself and anything like that. Incredibly hard. Or maybe it's simple but not easy. It's simple but not easy. And it's just something that, I think it's a journey, and I wish you well on that path, man.
Yeah, thank you. And like you said, I mean, I think it's different for everyone, right? Like what gives you fulfillment in life. Like it's not a one size fits all type situation. Like it really does depend on your upbringing, your social situation, your you know economic situation. Like there's just so much that goes into it that I don't think you ever find the real solution. Right? It's like the pursuit of happiness. You never fully, I don't think, ever reach that in the ways that you'd want to. But you
Yeah.
just have to be just grateful for it. Be grateful for like I'm now working in a job that I enjoy, opposed to again a couple years ago just working Walmart. And there's nothing bashing Walmart. Like I think it's a pivotal stepping stone in who I am. And I mean, I did that until like physically could not. It wasn't like I gave up on it. It was I had this opportunity and it's full time, and doing Walmart on the side would probably take away from the improvement I can have here, right? And so that was the end of a chapter going on to the next thing. Just
Hmm.
how this right now, the end of a chapter go on to something else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and I remember like whenever I don't I don't know how much longer after I like went back to Norman, like because I remember you talking about like commuting to work in Canyon as well, and I was like, I this guy's gonna work his ass off and get there. But yeah,
Yeah.
when did you start your gig, your current gig right now?
I want to say that was January of 2023, I believe. And so I went in November 2022 on this trip, and was just like, lack of confidence to like I was like Kanye West at that point. Like my ego was unbelievably high. I felt like I was like, I knew what I needed to do. I just need to do it. Like I need someone to give me an opportunity and I can prove myself, like right here,
Yeah,
right now. And this was the opportunity. Like it
yeah,
was like the week after I came back, someone went, "Hey, I have a job offer for you. And you'll
I'm
be a
gonna crush
student
it.
worker, but like if you do good enough, it's a full-time gig." And I was like, okay, where does this lead? Did it and failed and struggled and just kept pushing forward. And at the end of the day, I learned that yes, your technical skills matter in what you're doing, right? If you're wanting to be a professional chef, your food has to taste good. But also, I would argue like 85% of it, maybe even more, is actually if you're just cool to work with or not.
It's
If
a
people
vibe
just
thing.
enjoy working with you,
Yeah,
yeah, if people enjoy working with you, you can be trained and you can learn how to pick up these things, right?
yeah, absolutely.
'Cause no one, like, 'cause we're all human beings at the end of the day. And yes, we do have different, talents and uh, work, methods of working and so on. But at the end of the day, if I can come to work the next day and know you'll be there and know I'll leave and not like want to kill myself because of you being there, that's good enough, right? Like,
It makes it it's a world of a difference. It's a world of a difference maker,
yeah,
really. Yeah.
oh yeah. And so again, having a community, and I feel like I've always had that sense of community, and no matter where I've kind of worked at, I've always enjoyed my jobs, even though they've been kind of like service jobs. My first one was a lifeguard, second one was McDonald's, third one was Walmart, and here I am now. And in between Walmart, like while I was doing Walmart, I worked two other student jobs, which was this one, what I'm doing here, um, and then doing one that was like athletics production, like live broadcast. Um, One, I don't really like. I like watching sports, like professional sports, but I don't have a passion for athletics, so this
Mm.
was definitely deviation. And two, I don't like live broadcasts. Like I like more post production things, right? Like editing podcasts or shooting video for like a social media, or taking photos for like just various clients. I like that more than like, all right, let's record a men's soccer when I
Yeah,
have no like soccer rules work.
camera one, camera four.
No, like it is straight up that way, but it's so cool to get to know, right? And like
Yeah.
the capability what goes into it, right? Like it doesn't have to necessarily that live production can be translated elsewhere. Like I know a better of how it works, right? I'm a more well-rounded individual, and then you create other senses of community, right? Like people who really care and give a shit about sports. I was able to kind of get more into it, and I have a deeper understanding and appreciation for it. And then this position that was a student worker position became a full-time position. I took over my boss's position since he ended up leaving to get a better offer, and it's this continual like within months like always progressing into like a more responsible role, right? Now it's like me and my coworker, we are in charge of all the main videos. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up in terms of like not just web videos, but like I don't even know how to explain it, but like there are specific buildings on campus we'll have that have like it's like a giant TV screen on the side of it, and like it's supposed to be a hallway full of screens, like really interactive. Like it now becomes like art and design and architecture. You know what I mean? But this one's like with screens, so it has to constantly be
Moving.
changing photos,
Yeah.
video, whatever. And what does that entail? You know, like it's still kind of a big question mark of like what content do they need there? That's a whole new challenge, right? That surpasses more than just getting likes on Instagram. It's now just like how do you make how do you like what content should go here, I guess. And now it's up to me to figure out and decide. That's cool.
That is really cool. That's super sick. I that sounds like a challenge. I don't know if how I would like wrap my head around my like right now, but
Yeah,
I've
I had no clue either. This is what I do for a living.
there you go. I mean, it'll you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, what are you working on right now? What do you like are you doing any side projects? Are you doing any like creative stuff for your own personal art stuff? Or are you just like straight like head the grindstone type of situation right now?
Definitely head to the grindstone in a bunch of different areas. Actually, I'll take a quote from a guy who does advertising in Amarillo. He's the owner of Lemieux Company, and it's Wilson Lemieux. I remember actually I completely forgot to mention this. I found out I wanted to do movies. Like I worked on a set, kind of like production set. The first time I ever did it was I it was like an early out for school. I was a freshman in high school, and you had to be a college student to go help out and volunteer at like on this commercial. And I was like, I'm a college student. Oh, they didn't like ask for identification or anything, so I just said I was a college student, and I was able to like work lighting and like kind of do that on like a commercial. And so
Interesting.
that made me fall in love with it too. And so for the same guy, years later, I reconnected with him. So after going to Los Angeles again, high ego, I just needed to take every opportunity I could get my hands on, and so cold open and said, "Hey, can I help volunteer on a set?" And he said, "Sure, why not? See you at this time." And it was like at like 6:30 in the morning, cold day, and it was so much fun. Like I learned so much in that thing. I would totally volunteer again if I ever had that opportunity and kind of availability to do so. But he ended up saying a phrase to me that was, "If you're not working, or if you're not busy, you're not eating. Like you have to have the next big thing on your hand. Not the next big thing, but the next thing
Yeah.
on your you kind of don't have time to slow down and like have deep reflection or celebrate the wins you have as much. And that's something I want to kind of fix a little bit about myself. Whenever I do get done with something, I should probably applaud myself and say, "You did it, great! It looks cool. Let's share it and live in the moment, and then work on the next project." Because as of right now, it's like project A is done. I'm already on project B, and by the time you're seeing project A, I'm already on D. You know, it's like
Hmm.
I'm my mindset is way more than what you're seeing I'm doing. You
Yeah.
know. Um, but I like that. I like how it's not. I don't really like show really what I'm doing. It's a kind of more if you know, you know. I'm trying to share that a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I have a podcast to do on the side for other people. Like I'm not a part of it. I just edit that. I do photo shoots for families, senior photos, city events, really anything and everything. If they need a photographer for something, I'm there.
Like your own
And
like
that's
personal like freelance gig thing?
yeah, yeah. So like I can
Cool.
be my own boss and pick up whatever I want to do. And that's kind of crazy because I didn't take my first photo, like actual photo, until like maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah. If you go
Like
do the thing though, if you go do the thing, people will pay you to do the thing.
this is a new thing. That's what I always tell people. Like it's never too late to pick up a trade. Like I did not do any. I did no idea how to take like work a camera for photos, and now I think that's kind of what I'm best at as of right now. Maybe I don't know. Debatably, I do obviously a ton of videos for the university. Some are short form social media. Some are just web content. Others are uh, like social media ads, billboard ads. Kind of just depends on what's going on. And then occasionally I'll have the wild idea of doing something else.
Are you getting like those gigs like word of mouth? Are you like putting your work out there on Upwork or like what are you doing?
I think there's a lot of power in word of mouth that
Yeah.
we overlook. I think I always get bogged down with people saying like, "What are your social media tactics?" and like, "Are you boosting your posts?" and blah 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 blah. What is your posting schedule like? And kind of trying to metagame social media.
Hmm.
Uh, I think there's a lot of power of just like taking photos for fun, building a small repository, and then people seeing that work and saying, "Cool, you do photos? Hey, I have something coming up. How about you do this?" And it just kind of leading to somewhere else. Like I am no longer having to go out and like look for clientele. They know where to find me now,
Sick.
and it's hard to because I can lose that just as much as way faster than I got it.
Sure.
And it's easy by just leaving the area, right? Like if I just leave Canyon, my consumer base is gone. I have to start all over. And so it's kind of hard for me to give advice like, how do you build that? How do you get to that point? It's kind of like, fuck it, we ball until we make it, right?
You gotta keep shooting, man. You gotta keep shooting every
Yeah.
time.
You just stay active and actively participate in looking at other stuff. Be willing to do things for a low price or even free. Like I took so many free photo shoots, and now I'm at the point where I'm still lowballing. I'm still doing things relatively cheaper than anyone else, but I'm not trying to undercut the market. I'm just trying to learn and trying to build these relationships. And whenever it needs to be at market value, it's at market value.
Yeah.
Like if I go good wedding, it's gonna be at market value. I'm not gonna screw anyone else over that way. But like if it's the wedding of one of my closest friends or my brother, of course I'm not gonna be like, all right,
Pay up.
that's a loan.
Pay up.
No,
Take a loan out for
yeah.
this right now.
No, no, no. It's silly to me to do that. In fact, I think this is controversial. This is a controversial topic. It has nothing to do with the question either.
Controversial take.
But
Here we go. First one
yeah,
on Just Start. Let's
yeah.
go.
And that is that I think at times freelancers market their stuff or like price their things disgustingly high. Um, I took a photo, like a senior shoot, lasted about an hour, and someone was like 300, right? And I went, no, no. And they're like, that's how much I'd pay normally. I'm like, just because you'd pay this, it doesn't mean that it should be this way, right? Like, I think like in any other area, we will, and again, like I can already like feel like other freelancers going, shut the fuck up. Like you ruined the rest of
You're
us.
fucking up the money, bro. Don't talk about it.
Right. And that's the thing is like, I obviously support this, right? If you think the work is worth $300, paid $300. That's what I've learned, right? But some people's work is not worth $300, yet they'll charge that, right? They'll think they're worth that. And to me, it's like I would rather have a consistent client that's coming back to me to where I get more than 300. I can potentially make 900 over the course of 3-4 years, than opposed to the one time flat rate, right?
Yeah.
Uh, it's like going to like a barber, right, or a hairstylist,
I don't go
and
to
that's
barbers,
that's
man.
your person. It feels wrong to go somewhere else. That's how I like to be with these people.
I
I
felt
don't
that
ever get
same way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't ever feel cheated on as someone else because I got photos from someone else. I never feel that way, but it's like whenever it comes to these special moments, I do hope they'll come to me.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I feel like for the first time I cheated on my lunch place at work recently and I immediately got immediately karma for that. So it's like I immediately got really sick, like puking, vomiting, everything. It was like yeah, puking and vomiting, two different things. But yeah, I was not feeling well and I immediately regretted it and went back today. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Nothing happened. Don't ask any questions. Yeah, man. I get that. I get what you're saying. I really get what you're saying. Because that's what it is, right? Like, you can't like overhunt the game in the thing you'll never be able to reap the benefits of it ever again. You gotta, I mean, not like that, but like you want the people to come back to you, and if you're like if you charge them like, oh, I can't really afford to do this every single time, like make this
Yeah,
moment, special moment in my life, recorded, then
but
it's gonna be a problem.
yeah, but it's also saying like my time is worth more than your hourly wage in a sense at the same time, right? Like I'm taking photos for seniors in college right now, and you have to come in with the lens of like these people have been able to they spend so much on education. They've already given an arm and leg for this, right? They're probably working student worker jobs or at Walmart or at whatever. Like I physically did that just not too long ago. So why would I charge them $300 for an hour of my time? Whenever for their time, and they're just as competent human beings as I am. They are making what like best case scenario 15, $18 an hour, realistic case scenario 10, right? That's that's a whole paycheck for them.
Are you editing for the pictures for them, or are you just taking the photos?
Oh, I'm editing them as well.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, what you have to understand, like, the average consumer probably isn't going, well, it takes some editing time, but you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense why we charge these things. Like, obviously, as a freelance, I'm not trying to dunk on this on your thing. Like, you're gonna charge, you charge because you think it's fair,
Hmm.
right? Assumingly, I assume you think it's fair. I just think there's a lot of freelancers that do it for the sake of they know they can do it and take advantage of it. But that's just this area. I think it's different when you go to like kind of more urban environments and there's a little bit more, as well as how creative it gets, right? Like I'm talking about the ones that are just basic, like cap and gown,
Yeah,
right?
$300 for
Like
the yeah.
yeah, like that at that point, when they get back like what 10 images? At that point, if you charge them 300, the math on that is just like it's double digits per photo, right? I don't like that. It should stay in the single digits per photo, in my opinion.
All right. Well, there's a first hot take we got on just start. Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I appreciate it. I think I think I don't know how long this has been so far. I don't really know a good way to check this right now, but we can call it there for now. And anything you want to plug before you go?
Uh, really, the main thing I would probably say, I love this environment or this community here. It's the National Millennial Gen Z community. I think it does amazing, amazing work. If you're a college student and you're able to get involved, I would say just find a way. DM them on Instagram should be at NMGZ community. They only allow a couple of people in, and it's kind of a complicated process, but like it will genuinely change your life. It's not open to anyone, but you never know till you take the shot, right? Uh, Other than that, it's again ancora imparo. Keep on learning, keep on doing your thing. I'm more concerned about like how you can hype other people up and spread your own influence than my own personal success. I'm doing well in life. I'll continue to do well in life from what I'm trying to learn. So just trying to make sure everyone else can also kind of reap that benefit too.
Absolutely, man. Beautiful words. And I think you have to have a kind of mindset of like, I'm going to have a successful life to go and have it. So, I mean, you're already halfway there. Just keep working, man. And I wish you all success and everything you got going. And thanks for coming on board. And hopefully have you on board again sometime soon. We can talk some more.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
So, yeah.